daughter, and worked with Jim and my mother worked together for 15 years at Gracie Films, so welcome Amy Brooks. And I'd like to welcome the beautiful and talented Ione Skye.
Yeah.
Girls. This is a bit of a reunion for us. We haven't seen each other in a very long time.
This is so cool. I've been looking forward to this. This threesome is so amazing to me. It's so good.
Yeah. I just want to start with one story before we start some questions. I haven't seen this movie in a while. My mother made this movie when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and she was working with Cameron Crowe on the development of the film, and she said, "Cameron, you have to direct this film. You're going to ruin your movie." And she would come home and tell me that, and Cameron decided to do that, and the rest is history. Cameron had an amazing career after that, and I haven't seen the film in a while, and so right across the street at AM/PM, there was an AM/PM on 14th and Montana, and I don't know how old I was when Cameron started writing the movie, and my mom was like, "You gotta go hang out with Antonia and her loser friends. She'll get a lot of ideas." No joke. Where we right across the street, and my friends lived right behind the AM/PM, and I thought, "Holy shit, we're gonna show it at the Aero theater." And as Cameron came out, I swear to God, when I was like 16 or 17 years old, and interviewed all my friends. And so the scene at the AM/PM is literally taken right out of a play. The rap as well? Oh, for sure.
That scene was Lazo Kovacs shot the film, who's
Yes,
iconic, and that was the scene that made him realize this is an amazing movie.
Right.
Because he was hired, because he knew Polly Platt, and he was like, okay, but he was like, what is this movie with the young people love story? After that scene, he came and he was like, and Cameron was so pumped. He was like, Lazo's in. He thinks he knows what we're doing. And it was like that scene.
Right. It was like there was a brick wall. Oh my God, it was just so weird because I hadn't seen the movie in so long. He's like, "No, don't go talk to the guys at the AM/PM." And then I'm like, "Dude, we're breaking my vibe." It was.
I wish kids still did that. They come out of the AM/PM. They don't do that.
Cameron literally came over and sat with all my friends and smoked weed with us, like asking us all these questions. And then Bella, who's in the party scene, his dad comes in and he's from Hungary, and he's like, "Hey, cocksucker, you want some?" I mean, Cameron's just like, "Hey, what's up, y'all? Have some." Oh my God, he made stew. So anyways, I just thought I'd tell that story.
There's no proof of people Cameron Crowe couldn't write.
I know, right? It was just. All right. So I only have some questions.
Okay.
I want to know, how did you meet Cameron Crowe?
I met him at the Zappas, Moon Zappa. So this movie was like a big thing. Like anytime there was a teen movie in the 80s, which there were a lot of ensemble teen movies and teen movies, every actor was gagging for them and stuff. So I think my agent would have hooked me up, but Moon Zappa said, "I'm friendly with this guy Cameron Crowe, and he's casting a movie, and you should come over and meet him." So she helped, and then I just did the formal auditions. I did one, and then I had a callback.
So you did audition, and you had a callback by yourself? Who else was in the room?
Just myself. But I went to the bungalow, and that was just amazing.
It's still exactly the same.
Oh my
Fox,
God.
right? At Fox.
Yeah.
Where now there's like a Bart Simpson.
Yes.
Statue.
Yeah, and I just.
This is pre-Bart. This is pre-Simpson.
I mean, I love old Hollywood. So anytime I was like, oh my God, look at this bungalow. It's so old school. But yeah, I met Cameron first at Moon's, and we were both shy. We're kind of shy. He's shy, but also obviously can get things done. But we mumbled together, and I guess we liked each other, and yeah.
And you'd read the script before, and how did you feel? How did you feel when you first read the script?
It's so, yeah, I loved the script, and it was before, that was his first film, but he had written Fast Times, right?
You'd written Fast
So,
Times, and you guys all.
Yeah. So he came with a, like, this is a Wonder Kid, or Wonder Man, or whatever you call it. So, like, you could tell Cameron Crowe was something, and just, even though he was shy, he sort of had this thing about him where you felt like, I believe in you, I believe what you're doing.
I mean, now that I'm watching the film, you really kind of, John Cusack is definitely, it feels a lot like Cameron now. You know? So, yeah. So, Amy Brooks. So, when did you first meet Cameron?
I first met Cameron when I was just at the bungalow, and I was 14, I think, in the early stages, probably same thing, and he came up to me and he said, "What are you reading?" And I was reading the autobiography of Gypsy Rose Lee. But he liked that, and we started talking, and I would make up any excuse to come by work, just to visit with him, and then, it was a friendship, like, friendships just follow Cameron.
Wow, so you guys were friendly before because he was the writer, like I said, he was the writer for a while, and then Polly was like, "Hang on, fuck up your film, the writer for this yourself." I mean, Polly was really one of those people in Hollywood that really, she'd come home all the time with a writer, like, because from Jim and Peter Bogdanovich and Brooks, she felt like the writers could really do their stories justice, so
They must.
they must.
Yeah.
All right, so for both of you, I'll start with you, Ione. What was your most memorable moment shooting the film?
I mean, it's funny, I don't know if it's because now the boombox scene feels so memorable, that feels memorable, but I have so many impressions, like Joan Cusack, I didn't have a lot of scenes with her, just a little thing, but this was the kind of movie that I would just go and watch it being filmed. So I just have a lot of great memories of just watching them film anything, really. Yeah, I remember the love scene because those were so weird, and John Cusack wanted so much sweat to look realistic. It was a funny story because they did a test screening, and everyone thought, because he was so sweaty, because he had the makeup artist spray him, that his character was dying of something. When did they reveal he had an illness? And then I probably maybe Cameron would picked one that didn't have all that sweat. But yeah, it was such an amazing set. So I just have so many different, just great memories of, glimpses of things, it was a good set.
And Amy, you got some great scenes with John and Lily Taylor, who went to become quite a indie film movie star, really. Lily Taylor.
Well, the party scene was,
that's memorable. The party scene was like a week. That was like a real, and we were young enough, so you almost could forget that you were shooting. We're like, is this a real party?
Real teenagers.
It was
real
fun.
20, yes, and in a it was a huge black tent over a house, and it was a 7-day party.
Where was that in, what part of town again?
It was Altadena.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that was so fun. It was fun.
But the memory that comes to my mind is not on set, but it was Lily Taylor said we'll drive together and we'll form our bond on driving to work together. And cut to 4:30 in the morning, she's outside my house, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood, blaring, and Marlboro Red cigarette hanging out of her mouth and saying, "Come on, let's go to work." And that's how my days started.
So good.
Yes, Marlboro Reds and kids are here.
So good. Well, we were all have fun for mean, at that age, it's like you're not so controlled. You're just like you're just like, okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, and also, like, think about it, I mean, the studios weren't making these kind of movies. I don't remember the budget, but my mom told me the budget, I was like, what? What do you mean, it's not over like $60,000, $70,000? It was a low budget film, and most writers weren't directing, except his father, and very few people were doing that. And, so it was, you know, I think that's why it's become such an iconic film, because it kind of started that whole movement of independent film. And, at least that's what I think. You know?
Yeah.
So when did you meet John Cusack the first time?
I met him in the courting phase. Like Cameron really was like, we have to get John Cusack. He doesn't want to do these teen movies anymore. We have to convince him. So I had an apartment, and he came over, and he sat on the floor of the kitchen, and just Cameron, he said, we have to get him. I didn't know what that meant, but I was just like, I don't know, just like sit here while Cameron basically explained like this is not your average. Also because it was based on more like a father-daughter thing, and the romance was another part of the story. And then, yeah, and you know, once you meet Cameron, I think John Cusack was like, okay, I'm in. But I met him in the courting, trying to get him to sign on.
How about you? Have you known John?
I met him in the makeup trailer before graduation. And he said, oh, they found you. That was because I came on late.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
I came in for party girl number 1, and then they were like, hang on a sec. Another audition, and Cameron went to my dad and said, it's between 2 girls and one is Amy. And he said, you gotta make your movie, man.
Yeah, and you know, I know you guys all know Eric Stoltz. You guys saw Eric Stoltz had already done Mask in 1985, and funny enough, a couple of weeks ago I was in New York, and we were screening my dad's film that came out, the director's cut of Squirrels to the Nuts, and Eric showed up, and I hadn't seen him since he was in a play on Broadway in the 90s. Yeah, and we actually were talking, I didn't know about the screening yet, and we were talking about saying anything, and I was like, why did you do this movie? You already got, he goes, I just wanted to be a part of it, man. I just wanted to be a PA. He was a production assistant.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz he was cast in this great Keymaster role, the Keymaster, but then someone, probably a PA said, or an AD said, Eric Stoltz is also going to be a PA on it. The actors were like, okay, that's amazing, but it was sort of funny. He was like, can I get you a coffee? And he literally was a PA, but for real. And I was like,
You could get us, you knock off your.
yeah.
your
It was like, was it performance art or what was it? But it was like a James Franco pre-Jim, but he really is cool. Yeah, and it was like, it's sort of uncomfortable. You're not really doing, this is not helping us. It's not, it's so complicated. No, it's so funny.
I mean, and of course, he turned out to be a television director, and at the time, it was like, anyways, yeah, I wanted to mention Eric, and then I also, because I haven't seen the film in so long, Barbara Streisand's son.
Yes.
Who's my childhood friend.
He's so good in the movie.
He's a guy that's
drunk. He has the curly hair.
Simply
red hair.
Jason Gould.
Jason Gould.
Who I knew like in 3rd grade because my parents made What's Up Doc, and
Amazing.
I'm sure my mother was like, you need to read. Jason.
He's so cute, and he's really good.
Yeah, Barbara's son.
I know, he was.
I never forgot.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
And then my mom even has a little. I think this is the only movie that she's ever had a speaking role in. What did she say? Don't
talk to Joe.
Oh, yes, that's so good, that's right, yes.
And that was at Sound College, we shot that at college.
All right, so speaking of, do you have any
Memories of Jim on set, James L. Brooks, or,
Oh, me?
yeah?
Yeah, he came in to do some reshoots. We did a couple reshoots, and he was just good. He wasn't like, I was nervous, like, am I gonna like freak out? But he was great. I wish I could have had more, but it was just a couple of reshoots. But he was around, but in a good way that you want, where the presence is there, but it's not throwing things off. But he let Cameron do. He trusted Cameron. Yeah.
Jim was great with actors. And what about your experience with Polly? Amy?
My experience with Polly, the producer, was the scene where we are trying to talk him into going to see Diane. I hadn't banked enough school hours that day, and they said, okay, Cameron took me aside and said, we're gonna go ahead and do it with Pam. By the way, yeah.
Adeline,
Right.
yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and do it with her, and I walked away, I was just crying, I was devastated, and, Polly found me, and, she hugged me, and she wiped my tears, and she said, we're gonna go, okay, let's get you together, we're gonna go with you, and I still was like, whoa, and, she said, but right now you're costing us money.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like, I just wanted to be around her. I don't know. I saw that I guess some could say intimidating or something. I didn't know the lore. I didn't know at that time. I knew a little, like, people filled me in who she was and how amazing. So everyone already thought she was so amazing, but I just felt, I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm a little scared of women. Like, I have male friends, but even though Polly Platt, you could say, would be in the category of a woman you could be, there was something about her that I wasn't, despite all of that, I wasn't afraid of her for some reason. I don't know how to explain it, but I just.
She adored you.
Oh, that's so
Because she would
nice.
come home and tell me everything.
Oh my God, that's so nice, because I had done work, but this was a big film for me. And I was like very intimidated, insecure. So whatever she was doing is just like, oh man, it was great, because she did not make me feel insecure. I just liked being around her. And then later, of course, I learned more and more, but yeah, for such a strong, amazing woman, I wasn't like, I just felt good, I was happy.
Because you guys were young, and it was
Yeah,
that you guys were young.
probably.
So I have just a little story, and we're gonna talk a little bit about your new film that's coming out. I wanna talk about that. So when my mom died, Cameron called me, and she's like, which was very sweet. The people that called me and meant a lot to me. And he's like, Polly, she was great. She she stabbed me in the front. She's one of the few people in Hollywood, she just stabbed me in the front. He's like, I didn't appreciate that until later, because so many people stabbed me in the back. But you always know when Polly was coming, and I really appreciated that, because I was like, you got that right. And she would mess you up, but she would never talk behind your back, and she'd give you a hard time, but it was like, that's so Cameron, she stabbed you in the front. I always tell that story, because I was like, and we just started laughing, and it was such a sweet thing to do and call me, and say that, because it's like, yeah, man, I appreciate that. She never would go behind your back. She was honest. Yeah.
Amazing. So I want to hear a little bit about your new film that's coming out at Christmas. This is a new film.
Oh yeah, Anaconda. Yeah, so I've been living in Australia with my husband for a year, which is sort of a random adventure, but amazing because he's Australian, and movies come through, and so Anaconda is this film, Tim Gorman, I feel like Gormigan is his pronunciation, but I played Jack Black's wife, which is super fun, and Paul Rudd is in it, And it just was so super duper fun because I'm already in Australia, and I'm married to this man Ben Lee, and we have a fun, amazing marriage. And so I was like, I could play being married to Jack Black. It's gonna feel kind of like my marriage. So it's one of these like adventure comedy movies. And I shot it before coming out to promote my book and do this whole thing. But it comes out Christmas. Yeah, oh, thank you.
Anaconda.
Yeah, Anaconda. So I would say that it's gonna be it's gonna be really good, I feel like.
Yeah.
It was really
So
good.
cool.
Yeah.
How was it working with Jack?
Oh my God. It's so fascinating to work with somebody who's like so famous and successful, but so still insecure and like so sweet, and in between filming, sometimes all the actors go to their trailers, but for some reason we were filming in a house a lot for my part, and they set up just these kind of chairs, and in between every scene we just all sat and talked, and it was so nice to just like get to know. I had done a movie with Paul Rudd a million years ago, but it was just so fun to just.
What movie?
It's like an indie called The Size of Watermelons that just very independent film that because I guess it was so mean, it was one of his first films. Paul Rudd kept in touch with like half the people on this film, and I was like, it's like, remember this person? I'm like, no. Remember that person? No, but you're amazing. It's so nice of you. But he was great. And of course doing a film with comedians, it's so funny in between the scenes, they're like joking and the crew are laughing, and I'm like, this is the best. So anyway, yeah, that was fun.
We're gonna have a little book signing.
Yes.
Film after. Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with one story. I'm sure you guys know the story. So John didn't want to put that boombox on top of his head. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Oh no.
I knew he
Oh no. He didn't want to do it.
befuddled.
He didn't want to do it, and
He thought it was like too hard,
yeah,
corny.
he was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I don't know if my mom tried to get him to do it because she kind of stayed out of it. But I know he wouldn't do it for Cameron. And this is according to my mother. This is her story, and she told it to me very long before it became the iconic poster, the iconic moment of a whole generation, and of course the film. She's like, let's just do a rehearsal. Just hold it over your head for a rehearsal. And then she goes over to Laszlo, and she had worked with Peter and Laszlo. They were very close, Laszlo and my mom. That's the tape. He had no idea that we should do it.
Amazing, yeah.
And that's
Amazing.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure she's like, just give me a minute. And she goes, Cameron's like,
So he was playing his music. He was
Yeah,
playing-
and he was playing a like fishbone, but it just worked. That's the smoke and mirrors of the beauty of cinema. Like then you put in Peter Gabriel.
yeah, and
And it's
why
like,
didn't he want to?
He had never really been in love yet, so he just thought it was just corny and stuff like that. Oh, also he was like, why would I do that? She hurt me. I'd be like, fuck you. It's romantic.
So it wouldn't have happened. That's happened on more than a few films with a rehearsal, but I thought you guys would like to know that story. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. We have some time, right?
Is there a Q&A? Okay.
5 minutes, okay.
I mean, after that, I think I did, I did, like, I was in gas food lodging, I played a rebel, and so, I had different roles, but yeah, like, when you're an ingenue, you kind of play an ingenue, until you become, it's a funny point as an actress, where you get scripts, and you're, like, reading the part, and you naturally think you're playing the 20-something-year-old, and you're like, oh, no, that's that actress, like, so it takes, like, a second. Now I'm, like, totally in with what my age is. But yeah, but I played, I didn't always play, that was the smartest role I ever played.
Do you have good
Wow.
Do you have good memories of Zodiac?
Oh yeah, I love Zodiac. David Fincher
Yeah.
created such an amazing atmosphere.
We ran into each other at a Rubio's maybe 6 months afterwards in the marina, and it was like we had been in war together. It was like we'd gone through a battle.
Everyone's like, but David Fincher, for a perfectionist, like when you hear stories about like Otto Preminger and people who like terrorize, they're perfectionists, but they abuse the women. Like, you could be a perfectionist and not like terrorize. You work hard, but yeah. Thank you. Applause. Not to terrorize actors.
Thank you.
The book, yeah, it took about 3 years, and it was such hard work. I loved it so much, but it was funny, I was thinking, if I ever had to write another book, like say, I wrote another I was like, oh my God, it must be like when you direct a movie after you're so exhausted, you're like, I will never do that. I don't think I can ever do that again. It's such hard work. But I'm sure you just like brush the dust off and then you're like, I need to do it again. But yeah, it was like at the time, I loved how hard it was, but now looking back, I'm like, wow, that was a lot of work.
Do you have a schedule? Discipline.
I just liked the, you have to get it organized, so I would do it by assignments. Like the editor's like, this is a good part, and it was like hanging on all the chapters. So I needed that, or else I would just like be like herding cats with all my thoughts. So yes, I have a schedule, which was get the assignment done of whatever portion you're doing. But I'm kind of like, once I get the assignment, I'll just go. It's late, so I feel bad. Should we, I don't know what the format. Oh, you know the format.
They're telling me the time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we can have time for one more question? Yeah.
Oh, I can barely remember what part of town we were in, but I don't know.
I don't think we knew what the house looked like.
It was covered in
black. It was
yeah, that's why I can barely remember. I didn't even remember what neighborhood it was, so we're sort of guessing, but I hope so. All right, one more. Yeah.
Oh, any members?
So had so much energy. Great man, such beautiful energy, just so giving. He loved standards, like singing standards, and I guess because my grandma, I love standards, so we would sing together, and just so vulnerable, and like, I don't know, just didn't suck up energy, but gave energy. He was just amazing.
He's so great in this film.
Yeah, very complicated. Like in White Lotus, you've got the complicated dad in White Lotus, and he's like the OG complicated father. Yeah, he's so complex.
He really captured that single parent, because I'm a single parent.
Yes.
Now, and so he
Yeah.
went off to college, and I'm like, he really nailed it.
Yeah.
He really did.
Amazing. I know.
Put
He's
everything
really,
in the
really good.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming and supporting us.